Welcome to St. Louis Presents. This is the second show of our brand new season, and we're back in studio, Steve.
You know, but I had so much fun last time, Debbie, because we did something we don't do very often, which is we did the show somewhere else at the new site of the St. Louis Blues Museum.
Right.
That was so much fun to be down there.
Yeah, the National Blues Museum opening later this year. You know, all of our shows are on our YouTube channel, but did I see, what's the deal with you on YouTube? Did I see something else with you?
There's a little clip that's been circulating. Actually, I've been circulating it. No, that's not. There's a show, I don't know if you've heard about it or not, it's called STL Up Late. And it's sort of like a Tonight Show, late show kind of thing, only it hasn't been on television. It's done in front of a live audience. And Eric Christensen is a comedian, and he hosts it. He's like the Johnny Carson of the show or the Jimmy Fallon or whatever. And it's a show where they have a musical guest, they do sketch comedy, and then they have an interview segment. And they asked me to be the interview person, or the person to be interviewed last time, which was unusual for me. Anyway, so they made a clip of this 15-minute interview, and they put it on YouTube. What's really exciting about the show, though, is they've just inked a deal with KMOV-TV, and they're working out details now, so I can't give you a date. But at some point, this is going to be a weekly show, late-night show on KMOV. So St. Louis is going to have its own late-night entertainment show. It's really exciting.
That is exciting.
So watch for that. And they have a YouTube channel and everything else, so STL Up Late, you should look it up.
Well, look at our Steve Potter getting all famous on us.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about the National Blues Museum, but we also have a lot of jazz in town. So coming up later in the program, we're going to talk about jazz and some of the great events that are going on around our community in that regard. And Big Brothers Big Sisters, one of the great organizations in our area, and they're kicking off a new program that I think is going to have a big impact.
We're also going to meet Richard Gray, who is St. Louis's Public Safety Director. I don't know him, but I know you've crossed paths with him before because he's done a lot of things around town for a long time.
He has a very unique resume, for sure.
And I really want to find out what that job does, because he's sort of responsible for the safety of everyone in St. Louis.
Well, we'll find out about that and more on this edition of St. Louis Presents. Stay with us. Our first guest is the Public Safety Director, a man who ultimately is in charge of ensuring the city of St. Louis's well-being, as well as the safety of both residents and visitors.
For over 25 years, he's been committed to public service and was recently inducted into the National Association of Blacks in Criminal Justice. Please welcome Colonel Richard Gray. Colonel?
Thank you for having me.
And I'm just curious where the colonel title comes from. You were with the police board for years. Was that what that's about?
Yes. Prior to local control taking over, I was the president of the St. Louis Police Board. So that's where the colonel title came in at.
And this is quite an honor, this new being in this Hall of Fame. Do you have more medal for the mantle? How did this come about?
Yes, another medal for the mantle, so to speak. But NABJA, National Association of Blacks in Criminal Justice, is a national organization that is designed to cross all boundaries when it comes to corrections. So you have prosecutors, you have correctional officers, you have police officers, and they work together to try to formulate better programs and better understanding of reentry for criminal justice, as well as just making sure that everybody understands what we can do to make a difference.
And it seems like all of those things, I guess they're always important, but they seem especially important to our community right now. Can you address any of those issues, and how do we move forward? Any thoughts on what you can say in our community when we seem to constantly be having strife between police and the citizens?
Well, most definitely. I think the challenges that we have are challenges that aren't unique just to St. Louis. The challenges that we have that are unique to the country right now. And there's an understanding of what can we do to bridge that gap, to create community policing, to make sure that we clearly understand the stress that's going on in the community. And so under the umbrella of NABJA, under the umbrella of the position that I'm in, I get an opportunity to try to look at each of the entities that I have. For example, the police department reports to me, as well as the correctional division and the fire department and quite a few others. And so with that, we were able to look at our operations and really kind of make them clearly become a better relationship with the community, and that's what we've been trying to do.
You talk about the issues of police in the community, and you say those are issues that the whole country faces, which you're exactly right, but it's also a matter of perception. You know, my heart breaks sometimes when I watch the TV news and about issues in St. Louis. It does seem like it's focused here. What you say is true. It's a problem across the country. But does it make it extra tough when, like, we're under the microscope?
Oh, absolutely. I think what we have to constantly remind ourselves of is that although it's unique to us right now and we're feeling the pressure right now, we have to manage our way through it. And we do that by making sure that we keep ourselves transparent in how we run our operations. We try to get out and make sure people clearly understand in the beginning. So there's no hiding in what we do. We're working really hard on creating a civilian oversight board. We actually started that way before Ferguson. So we're trying to make sure that we're responsive to our communities and our citizens.
I think it's interesting, too, how the police department has started their Coffee with a Cop program, which I think is really cool. Have you heard about that?
No.
They just go into various McDonald's or whatever in the morning, and people come in and just sit and have coffee with police officers.
Absolutely, and I think it's what's people are unaware of is that that's just one of many programs that they do. They have the PAL program where they work with kids for youth and sports activities.
The Police Athletic League.
Excuse me, does all this sort of overlap on your day job, being Director of Public Safety? It seems like it would.
It does. Yeah, my day job doesn't end until maybe midnight. So it's one of those things where there's constant overlapping of different things that we have going on. And so it's important to understand that our department does a lot more than just policing. And that's where we have to be. The difference has to become in those community service activities and those activities that we do outside of just some regular police work.
Before we wrap up with you, what would you say is the biggest priority for you right now? I mean, I know there's a ton of things on your plate right now, but if you could accomplish your number one task, what would that be as Public Safety Director?
Well, I think there's probably two. One is making sure we clearly get in all of our departments that we have working for the police, for the city of St. Louis, a diversity that represents the city of St. Louis. So that is a priority that I've had from the beginning, and it's one of the priorities that Mayor Slade asked me to focus on when I first got into this position. So making sure we continually try to work on having our departments that we have represent the community. And so we're working on that, and we're going to continue to do that moving forward. I think the other thing is to continue to make sure that we tie back into the community the things that we're doing well. So many times you get in front of the camera and you hear all of the things that are not happening correctly. Well, the challenge that we have is there's a lot of things that we're doing very, very well. And so one of my priorities will be to continue to make sure that we do the things that we're doing well, people will be aware of them. And making sure they're aware of the successes that we have.
So we should be optimistic.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm hearing,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes. Sometimes, sadly, the good news doesn't make the news as much as the bad, but we appreciate you being here with us, Colonel Richard Gray. Thanks for the time and congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to learn more about Big Brothers Big Sisters and jazz.
And barbecues ahead,
and
too.
barbecue. Stay with us.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
G-Morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about? Something I did? Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
Welcome back. Our next guest is a member of the Jazz Journalists Association and the founder of DeBlaze and Associates, a public relations firm specializing in entertainment and jazz. She's here to tell us about some exciting upcoming events. Welcome, Dawn DeBlaze.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Now, you are a great ambassador for jazz because you're always promoting another jazz artist or an event coming up. And I think that people tend to think of St. Louis and blues for many reasons, but we do have quite a rich history in jazz as well.
Yes, we do, absolutely. If you think back, Miles Davis, Clark Terry, they have set quite a high bar for us, and it's known throughout the world. We have a very rich history, and when you think of the work that our new Jazz St. Louis is doing with the Jazz Club, that's an internationally recognized club, and it's up there on the level with all the clubs in New York City and everything on the West Coast as well. So St. Louis has a tremendous jazz history, and it rivals that anywhere in the world.
Yeah, if people haven't been to the upgraded Jazz St. Louis, it is a fantastic place to see a show.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Now, people can take advantage of another thing that we absolutely love in this area, which is our wineries and our rolling hills. So talk a little bit about the event you have coming up.
Yes, so this weekend, Saturday, August 22nd, from 1 to 9 p.m., there is the Herman Wine and Jazz Festival. This is an inaugural event presented by HIP 96.3 HD3, and fabulous, wonderful jazz music. They play a good collective mixture, and they are partnering with the Herman Chamber of Commerce and bringing in music at an unusual time of the year. People usually think about going to the wineries in the fall, and at this point, you know, they're going to have it at the amphitheater there in Herman. There's 4 different world-class wineries and 5 fabulous jazz groups that we've got a lot to be proud of in St. Louis. These artists are all world-class. The headliner is Dawn Weber, which a lot of people know her from around town, and she really puts on a show. She's just dynamite, high energy. She's a vocalist, trumpet virtuoso. You just never know what to expect from her. And then kicking it off is the wonderful Tommy Halloran and his Gorilla Swing, and he won an award from the Riverfront Times in 2014 as the best band in St. Louis. So he's kind of a rock edge. His songs are shorter than the typical jazz tune. However, they're more of a jazz edge with them, kind of all rolled in one. So he's going to lead off the festival at 1 o'clock on Saturday, and so people really want to come out early because you are going to not want to miss him. And then in between, there's the St. Louis Jazz All-Stars with Maurice Carnes. He's traveled all over the world. You've got the Silverman Brothers with Back to the Future. And who am I missing? A couple of others.
So many artists.
So many artists, yes, fabulous.
You know, a funny story about Dawn Weber, I had heard so much about her, and then my church, St. Margaret of Scotland in South City, was going to have this big street festival, so they hired Dawn Weber, which I thought was fantastic. But then there was, I think, an ice storm, so they moved it to the church basement. So not as many people showed up, but it was very surreal to come into a church basement and see Dawn Weber performing. It seemed like she was performing in my home or something. I thought, wow, what a unique experience. And you're right, she is terrific. Now, if people can't make it to Herman for this particular fest, I know there are a number of jazz festivals that you're a part of and help promote throughout the year. Any others coming up that people can just keep their ears out for or mark it on the calendar, save the date kind of thing?
Not in terms of actual festivals, but one thing that is coming up that I'm producing, and it takes place at Jazz St. Louis down in Grand Center, that's really exciting. It's going to be called Voices for a Cure, and it's to benefit multiple sclerosis. And people really get behind this, I think, and be excited because it will feature Charles Glenn, who's known for being the anthem singer at the St. Louis Blues games. and he really puts on a good show.
He does.
A lot of times you can only catch him in private functions, but he is starting to do some more public things. And he's going to be featured with Joe Mancuso, who's won a number of our Riverfront Time Awards as well. So you've got these two fabulous gentlemen coming together. It benefits the Multiple Sclerosis Society. It takes place on a Sunday afternoon. Doors open at 5. It starts at 6. It will soon be featured on Jazz St. Louis's website, so you guys are getting ahead of the curve here. It hasn't even been released yet.
Excellent.
Yeah, so it's all for a good cause.
Now, Dawn, what's the best place for people to go if they're hearing what we're talking about and would just like some more information?
You know, there's a wonderful website, Dean Minderman, who he has St. Louis Jazz Notes. He has a really good pulse on everything that's happening in the city. So I would recommend that he has a Facebook page. You can also subscribe to his RSS feed. That's a really great way to stay on top of things.
Terrific. Well, thank you for what you do for jazz. And Dawn DeBlaze, we appreciate you joining us. We're going to hand it over to Steve Potter, who has some more news for us.
Thanks, Debbie. This summer, the casting crew for The Biggest Loser was in St. Louis, and staff from the city's Department of Health, Division of Health Promotion, Education, and Marketing took the opportunity to greet individuals at the casting call. They also provided information about Jump Into Shape, designed to promote weight loss and increase fitness among residents in the metropolitan area. Jump Into Shape is free, and to join, participants can log to exercise minutes and personal weight loss, as well as find healthy recipes. Visit jumpintoshape.com to join. Hairstylists in targeted areas of the city of St. Louis are teaming up with the Department of Health to fade out sexually transmitted infections by raising awareness and spreading prevention messages. Through the program Fading Out HIV, stylists are being educated so they can share facts, debunk myths, and link individuals to resources. The Department of Health also plans to increase education and awareness efforts to elementary, middle, and high schools, as well as embark on a social media marketing campaign focusing on women of color. That's going to happen in the near future. It's a new school year, and city leaders are stressing the importance of children, especially in younger grades, getting to school every day. Absenteeism can create long-term effects on a child's ability to succeed. Missing just 10% of the school year in the early grades can leave students struggling throughout elementary school. Chronically absent children fall far behind and face a much higher risk of dropping out in high school. And absences affect the entire classroom if the teacher has to slow down the learning process to help those children. And although school is back in session, summer is not officially over, and for most, barbecue makes the perfect summer meal, right? Well, STL TV's Raina Ray recently visited BJ's Delicious Backyard Barbecue to find out what makes their food so great. Let's take a look.
Today, I'm with Chef BJ from BJ's Delicious Backyard Barbecue. No, I didn't say delicious, I said delicious.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a story behind that, isn't there?
Absolutely, absolutely. My son was about 3 years old and I was barbecuing in the backyard, of course. And he came in after get through eating. Barbecue sauce was from his nose to his ankles. And he said, Daddy, that was delicious. And I wrote it down and ran with it.
That's it, and it's stuck. And I don't know, I think you might have invented a new word.
Possibly.
Because I haven't even tasted anything yet, and I wasn't hungry when I got on this truck, and now my stomach's growling.
Oh, we're going to fix that.
That's how you know it smells really good. Well, what's going on over here, Chef BJ?
Well, we have Chef Kenny right here. He is making the chicken Philly. It has the
Wait
peppers.
a minute, you say chicken Philly?
Chicken Philly, yes, ma'am.
That's new and different.
Also known as the loop.
Oh.
Philly has the Philly steak, and we have the loop.
Okay, so what's going on there?
This is chicken, peppers, cheese, and we put it on a nice bun, nice toasted bun.
So let me get this straight. You grilled the chicken ahead of time.
Yes, ma'am, out on the grill.
And then you pull it apart.
Yes, ma'am.
Come in here and make some onions and peppers delicious.
Yes,
Mix
ma'am.
them all together. Throw in some cheese. I'm waiting for the part where any of this doesn't sound really good. You know?
Yes, ma'am.
And what's that?
We finish it off with some delicious rub. That is our homemade rub, which you will be able to get in your local stores real soon.
Okay, talk to me about that rub. I know you can't tell me all the secret ingredients, and I want to try it.
You know what the best part about it is?
What?
There's no added salt. So once we get done grilling, we can put some more on top.
All the
as
flavor
much as you want.
and
in
no
it.
salt?
No salt. Will not
Okay,
be salty.
can I try that?
Absolutely. Got some for
Can I
you
try
right
that?
here.
You got some for me right there?
Yes,
Let me
ma'am.
try that. Let's see.
No salt.
Just flavor. Just, it's like a bag of barbecue potato chips without the salt.
Yes,
right there in
ma'am.
my hand. You made that up?
Yes, ma'am.
And that goes on everything?
It goes on everything.
I have to try something.
Absolutely.
Oh, let's see that.
And that is the chicken fillet.
Wow, that is delicious looking.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, delicious.
There you
looking.
go,
Let me get it right.
delicious,
Let me get it
delicious.
right.
Well, if that doesn't make you hungry, we do owe you this information. You can find out more about BJ's Delicious Backyard Barbecue. There's the information, bjsbbqstl.com. You can find them on Facebook or Twitter to find out where that food truck's going to be.
And Debbie, I looked up delicious in the dictionary earlier today, and I can pretty much tell you it's not a real word.
Oh, really?
But you know, I love barbecue. I grill a lot, but I've never barbecued, so
Well, just
something's wrong with me, I guess.
Just go to the Facebook page and find out where the truck is going to be.
I will.
Don't just try it at
Okay,
home.
I won't.
Well, Big Brothers Big Sisters serves a wide variety of children and families facing various challenges in our community.
Recently, they've extended their promise to kids in the program by supporting them beyond high school. That's up until they're 25 now and into a career.
Well, we're really excited to have with us Kate Dopich, who is with Big Brothers Big Sisters, to tell us more about the Big Futures program. This is exciting news.
It is. It is. We last year celebrated our 100-year anniversary of serving families and children in St. Louis, and in our second century of service, wanted to extend our promise beyond high school graduation to work with our families
Well,
and
Kate,
children.
just for a little bit of background, it's one of those organizations most people have heard of. I'm not sure that everybody really knows exactly what you do.
Sure, sure. So our mission is that we build trusting and enduring relationships that encourage and support young people. Really what that means is we identify caring adults to place in the life of a child, and we really ask them to simply be there. We don't ask our mentors to fix every problem, but like every good friend in our life, we want them to be there.
So these are obviously kids that for whatever reason in their own lives are lacking that from an adult.
Absolutely. They may have some really wonderful, strong adults in their life, but their parent or caregiver has recognized the need for more and have made that courageous call to our agency to say, I really think my child would benefit from being a part of Big Brothers Big Sisters.
I do have to say, I absolutely love your building in Grand Center.
Thank you.
That corner has made all the difference in that neighborhood, for sure. I also happen to work with the man who was named the Big Brother of the Year for Big Brothers Big Sisters in Eastern Missouri, Ben Boyd. I work
Absolutely.
with him at KMOX, and
Absolutely.
I find that there are some big, they call themselves bigs and littles, in case you didn't know, which is always really cute. But he's such a great ambassador for being a big, and people will say, well, I don't have the time. And he'll say, you don't have to have a lot of time. He'll just bring his little with him to when he's covering a game or they're going to go out to dinner, brings his little with him. And, you know, according to him, it's been a great relationship.
Absolutely.
Is that a common story?
It is. It really is. You know, that's something all of us battle is time, right? But really, we really ask that mentors make that child a part of their life and the regular, everyday things they do. It's not about going to Six Flags every weekend. Who could keep that up? But it's really about doing those everyday activities, and that's ultimately what the child wants too. They want to be part of your life.
You know, it just occurred to me, I can certainly see the advantages of how being a mentor could help a kid. That's pretty obvious. But I bet maybe sometimes the mentors get a lot out of it that they don't expect.
You know, we hear that so often from our big brothers and big sisters in our program, and that's where we really invest in those enduring relationships, and that's why we extended our promise. We knew these relationships were staying together past high school, past the commitment we ask our mentors, because it's just a good friend in their life and someone really special to them. So we're really proud to continue that journey with them, because we know once you get to college, it doesn't get easier at that point. There's all kinds of new challenges our students
Hey, I had a
face.
hard time in college. I don't know about
Absolutely.
you.
I think we all have a story there.
You're right.
Now, what will this Big Futures program look like? As you're working with people until they're 25, what are we looking at? Are we looking at having the big still in their life, or what does that mean?
Sure, yeah. So in most cases, yeah, the big is absolutely still there. And certainly we know that as the child gets older, the big presence is going to be a little bit different. Again, you're not doing the trips to the zoo so much anymore, but you're giving that phone call of like, oh my gosh, failed that test horribly. How am I ever going to recover? And giving that, that little, gear up speech to the student. But our agency, what we're there to do is really support our students and really help them enroll in college and really stay there. So that can be a lot of different things on a lot of different days.
You know, it may seem like a simple thing to a lot of people, but I think you underestimate what the influence of, to a younger person, that an adult that kind of respects them and will listen to them, what that means, because some kids don't have anybody they really feel they can talk to be honest with.
I think it's so true, and that's really the simplicity of our program, of really that our tagline is we ask people to be there, and really that's what we expect, is that you continue that journey and are there for the ups and the downs. And there's really fun moments to celebrate high school graduation, getting accepted into college, those fun pieces, but there's down times too, and that's what we expect all of our friends to be there for.
For people listening thinking I might have some time to investigate being a big brother or big sister, what is the process? Do you do screenings? Do people just sign up, or what do they need to do?
Certainly, yeah. We do have a screening process where we want to make sure we get to know the volunteers and make sure that this volunteer program is the right fit for them, and of course that they're a safe fit to be with a child. So we do ask that they go to our website or give us a phone call, and then we have a pretty simple process that they go through of coming into our office for an interview. We do background checks and then reference checks as well.
Since Big Brothers and Big Sisters, you've been doing this for like 100 years, you probably have the answer to this question. But I would just suspect a lot of times this relationship between the mentor and the young person doesn't end when they're 25.
Exactly. We know that those relationships are going to go beyond that, and we're proud to keep hearing those stories and keep being a connection point where those alumni bigs and littles.
Is
that
it too
come
late
back
for me to
through.
get a big brother? Because I could use one.
It's never too late for you to become a big
Okay.
brother.
Kate, before we let you go, is there a waiting list of kids wanting or needing a big brother or sister, and how long is that list?
Yeah, well, we serve right now about 1,700 children that are actively matched in the kindergarten through college pipeline. And we do have about 900 children that are on our waiting list who they and their parent have raised their hand and said, we'd absolutely love for this to be a part of our life. So we are every day in search of more mentors that will make that commitment to a young person.
And there's the information you see right there, bbbcmo.org. That's a great place to go, or you can, of course, find them on Twitter or Facebook. Well, we hope that every kid on that waiting list gets matched with a big, and we thank you for all of the work that you do in the community, and let us know how Big Futures is going, because that's a fantastic idea.
Thank you for having us.
Everyone should have a big future. You know?
Absolutely.
That's right.
All right, well, we hope that you enjoyed this episode of St. Louis Presents.
We want to thank all of our great guests today, and we thank you at home for watching, and don't forget to get some barbecue today. Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and we'll see you next time right here on STL TV.